So the poverty rate here in the United States is actually getting worse, and the American people are essentially screwed. The reason for this is simple. You are now relying on the federal government for additional assistance. And think about it. You received a $1,200 stimulus check in 2020 because at that time we absolutely needed it because we were going to shut down for just 2 weeks. Great. And then we got a $600 check, and that was followed by a $1,400 stimulus check. We got enhanced unemployment. All along, the federal government was looking after us. Well, not quite. And in fact, this might be exactly what the federal government wanted us to think, because now everything is changing. So before I get into what exactly is happening right now and how the federal government has pretty much gone on and tried to provide us with these essentials, first, all I ask is if you enjoy these daily updates, do me a favor, go ahead, hit that like button, and we'll begin. So here's what's going on. Well, there's more and more reports that are now indicating that the federal government wants the American people to be in poverty. But why? Well, it's actually pretty simple. The more people in poverty, the more these people rely on the federal government for assistance. And the more you are relying on somebody else for assistance, the more you will do to make sure that no matter what, that person is always there. Always there. Which is why some economists are now predicting that the worst is yet to come. They're saying, according to multiple reports, many economists are predicting that interest rates are going to continue to go up, which they should after the recent inflation report that we got, where this is the second month in a row inflation has ticked back up. And when interest rates go higher, more businesses are going to be forced to lay off additional employees. So then, unemployment obviously is going to go up. And when this does, more people are going to dip below the poverty line. And again, when more people dip below the poverty line, they will be dependent on federal government assistance. Okay. So, just to give you an idea how bad things really are and what's going on, let's dive into the U.S. Census Bureau's recent report on the poverty rate in the U.S. Also keep in mind that this poverty rate is 1 year behind. The numbers I'm about to share with you are actually from 2022, and in 2024, we will get the 2023 numbers. So all these people that have been living in poverty may not have really known this. They may not have known, and we may not have known exactly how bad the poverty was here in the United States until just now, or actually a few days ago. Here are the numbers. In 2021, we had a poverty rate of 7.8%. That's actually not horrible, but it could have been better. In 2022, that rose to 12.4%. Yeah, that jumped, okay? That increase in the poverty rate means that roughly 40 million Americans are now living in poverty. Also keep in mind, in 2022, we still had the supplemental SNAP benefits of $95 per month. There was still a lot of stimulus money that was being saved by the American people. Well, a lot of that stimulus is gone. It's gone. And as of the end of September, according to the Federal Reserve, they expect Americans' savings to completely be gone. Now, in 2023, and this actually was the beginning of 2023, we saw that supplemental SNAP benefit end, that $95 boost. That ended. And so because of that, more people had to use savings, had to use their paychecks in order to just buy food. Now, also in 2022, the child poverty rate more than doubled. It went from 5.2% in 2021 to 12.4% in 2022. This was mainly because of the child tax credit payments that expired at the end of 2021. But that wasn't the only reason why we saw an increase in our poverty rate. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, it was also because of the child tax credit payments, earned income tax credit, rental assistance, and also state and federal stimulus. Also, because of additional costs in gasoline, food, housing, transportation, medicine, healthcare, and so much more, that is the reason why more people are now living in poverty. Over 40 million people. Now, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they say that shelter costs are driving more than 70% of inflation right now. This is a driving factor. Gasoline is also a major issue. Now, remember earlier when I said that many economists believe that the federal government wants people to remain in poverty, and they want to continue or have them continue to rely on the federal government for assistance. Remember that? Well, listen to what the White House had to say at the end of July. The White House said that President Biden has a vision. He has a vision to build the economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. They also went on to say that the vision means lowering costs, building more affordable housing, and preserving housing altogether. Now, they also went on to say that they want to federalize tenant law, meaning the federal government would dictate how much you could rent your property for. They would also make it harder for a landlord to evict a tenant who hasn't made a payment. Now, I'm not trying to say that tenants don't have any rights. Tenants absolutely have rights. If you're making payments on time, you definitely have rights. Now, here's the thing. What will happen when the federal government pretty much tells somebody that, hey, if you keep us in office, and it doesn't matter if it's Democrats or Republicans, but if you keep us in office, whether it's in the presidential office, the Oval Office, it's in the Senate, in the House of Representatives, doesn't matter. If you keep us in office, we're going to give you this. If someone's hanging over more stimulus, they're hanging over lowering costs to tenants, they're hanging this over your head and saying that, hey, vote for us, right? It's coming. The money's here. You just got to vote Democrat. You just got to vote Republican. You know what's going to happen? Well, those people are likely to vote for those people. Now, when more than 114.5 million people are currently living in a rented house, okay, that's a massive amount of potential voters. Now, I'm not saying that all 114.5 million people are thinking this way, but let me ask you this question. If somebody said that they would give you a child tax credit payment, they'd give you more rights as a tenant, they'd allow you to pay less in taxes, they'd allow you additional property tax rebates, right? Whatever, they're throwing everything at you, all while still giving you all the federal benefits that you're currently getting. Would you vote to keep that person or those people in control? The answer is likely yes, which is why many experts believe that the American people right now are where Congress wants them to be, relying on Congress, relying on the federal government for their next meal, their next house payment, right? Their next hospital visit, and so much more. So, if you think fighting poverty is what the U.S. government wants, think again. They haven't done anything in recent years, and it doesn't look like they're going to do anything anytime soon. So as U.S. poverty gets worse, the American people are going to be screwed. Because who's really looking after you? Is it the president? Is it the Senate? Is it the House? Is it your state representative? As of right now, the hardest part is, well, why can't we get anything passed? Why can't we get a bill, any legislation on this child tax credit payment, which has been proven that for every dollar spent in the child tax credit payments, it has accounted for $8 in economic activity. $8. It's an 8x. That is crazy. And the reason why I bring that up is because nobody wants to vote for that, because number one, it's probably going to increase taxes. And like I said, if somebody says, oh, we are going to increase your taxes, I guarantee you, people are not going to vote for that person. Because who in their right mind wants to pay more in taxes when we really have no clue where that money is even going? So, just wanted to fill you in on what's being said right now regarding the U.S. poverty rate. But again, if you are struggling or if you are close to that poverty line, I'd recommend you do everything you can. Save more money, work another job, get a side hustle, and put that money away. Because as of right now, the expectation is the poverty rate is going to go up, the American people will get screwed, and the people with money, with savings, with assets are those that are going to make it out. It's a little bit better in the end. So that's what we know at this time. Again, as always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.